Well, good afternoon. Public schools are now in the center of the transgender rights controversy.
Today, the Obama administration issued new guidelines on how transgender students should be treated. It warns public schools that transgender students are not to be discriminated against and should be treated consistent with their gender identity. That includes access to bathrooms and locker rooms.
It's actually to ensure that our schools are as inclusive and respectful and safe as they can possibly be.
Even though the Obama administration calls the letter a guidance, it does threaten schools that do not comply with loss of federal funds.
Now, in the last hour, Governor Otter has denounced the directive, saying this federal guidance dictates solutions to very personal and sensitive matters that should be left to local school administrators, school boards, teachers, parents, and students, and communities.
Morgan Wagner is live in Boise with reaction to this letter. Morgan?
As mentioned, Britt and Natalie, this is not law, just what federal educators are calling significant guidance. Now, I reached out to the head of the state's Department of Education, and in a statement just sent minutes ago, Superintendent Sherry Ibarra says this will not affect day-to-day bathroom use. She says our schools are already following U.S. Department of Education procedures. I also reached out to many of the school districts in the Treasure Valley about allowing transgender students the opportunity to use the bathrooms and locker rooms that they identify with. None would go on camera, but instead emailed us statements. A spokesman with the Boise School District says the directive is something they already follow. The Nampa School District says they're reviewing the guidelines, but that we don't currently have a policy and schools have been working with students on a case-by-case basis. The West Ada School District tells us they will be reevaluating the current policies. But, quote, currently our practice is to work privately and directly with individual transgender students to make sure that we have a plan to keep these students safe and successful in schools while also considering the needs of all of our students. Folks in the Treasure Valley say they have mixed emotions on the White House's proposal.
I think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's safe for either sex to be commingled like that, and I'm not for it at all.
I feel like that's great. I don't see bathrooms as a place that people assault people. I mean, everyone has a shared bathroom in their home and it's never been a problem. There's businesses across the country that have shared bathrooms.
I've also reached out to other few school districts, Britt and Natalie, but they have yet to call me back. According to the National Center for Transgender Equality, Idaho and Tennessee are the only two states where it is illegal to change your gender listing on your birth certificate. Live in Boise, Morgan Wagner, KBOI 2 News.
It's your turn to talk. As Morgan mentioned, Idaho does not allow genders on birth certificates to be altered. Why do you think this law exists? That's the question we asked.
And Carrie writes in response on our Facebook page, if it's a birth certificate, it will state gender at birth. Why should it be allowed to be changed? It's falsifying a legal document.
Now, Emily disagrees with the law, writing, I think they should change the birth certificates if requested. For one, it makes certain practical considerations very difficult. They'll change your driver's license, but not your birth certificate. And when you go to buy medical insurance, their systems often can't reconcile that the two don't match. So head to our Facebook page and give us your thoughts.
As far as Texas is concerned, it says it can do without the billions of dollars it receives in federal school funding. The state's lieutenant governor says Texas isn't going to be blackmailed over this transgender bathroom directive. He says Texas lawmakers will find a way to come up with the money. We'll have more on these guidelines coming up at 5:30.